Hello, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Parker.
Dude, if we were named Steve and Phil,
I'd definitely be a Phil.
yeah, because I feel like Steve is Steve is the chill guy, right? Phil's over in the back like stacking bodies, you know.
Well,
Steve's just out here with a blunt, you know. Phil's chilling in the corner, like about to carry out some hits, you know. Phil's a shady individual. Why'd you run away? Parker ran away from the mic.
How often do you? Oh, wait, you don't smoke bongs. Never mind. You suck on a joint.
I hit it.
Boom! Just start punching your fucking joint.
Yeah, dude, I fight to get high.
You can hit
man.
a bong too.
Okay, why don't you then?
Just hit a glass shatter.
Yeah, man. Just throw it across the room.
On your arm?
It's fine. Next question.
God damn, I don't think it's fine. Huh?
It's not. It's tweaking a little bit and it's making me irritable because I was trying to use it too much. I folded my clothes.
I keep trying.
And that was therapy. Folding a basket of clothes. I'm not even joking.
Like rehab.
Yeah, and
just that was therapy. That sounds like he was like peaceful.
That and the PS4 helped with my because I couldn't really. I wasn't like you said.
Yeah, your hand was fucking purple.
I wasn't moving my fingers. My whole because my elbow, my wrist was jammed, and then I had a huge cut along the back of it. So the whole hand was in pain, and then the palm was like sliced open. So I was just kind of leaving it, and finally everything scabbed up on my hand. So then I just started playing, and it was moving my fingers, and then I was kind of feeling a little twitchy stuff in the elbow, but then it went away after a little bit of time. But I was doing it. I didn't want to overdo it. I didn't want to wreck all the healing that was happening. So little by little.
Bro, what's the worst time that you've been atrophied? You know what I'm saying? Like your muscles atrophied. You've been on bed rest only for like a week. Right?
Yeah.
Bro, in 2019, I had like surgery at the beginning of it, and I was on bed rest for like 6 weeks straight for healing. And my legs are so weak, it was hard for my legs would start burning after climbing up those stairs. So that was tough. And then I was hospitalized, and I got out after like 4 or 5 days in the hospital, and then like 4 days just chilling in my bed. And I got out and I tried going to the store, and I crouched to see something on the bottom shelf, and I tried just standing up without like pushing myself up or anything, and I fell over, and I was so fucking embarrassed, bro. But that's when you have to like get it chopped off if like the blood pools down there and then just dies.
How are you doing with your ailments?
Pretty good. It's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't talked about it.
Yeah, Joe, aren't you pretty, other than just your general body failures, I think we've talked about I think we talked about that. We're pretty fortunate not to get too dinged up.
Yeah.
I don't do stupid things though for the most part. Speaking of which, did you say you saw this is kind of not I mean, this is to be expected, but some guy was walking, you saw it live?
I saw some whipping home from my parents' house, and I get on to Food Row. Because it's like Popeyes, Culver's, Steak and Shake, KFC, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and I'm Taco Bell's the only one that's open past like 10 other than McDonald's, and so I'm driving and I look over because I see a gap in the fucking cars in the drive-thru. I'm like, what the hell? And it's dark, and the Taco Bell doesn't have any lights. One of them is like blinking.
Dude, we live at like a rest station, like.
Well, the Wendy's is part of the rest stop, and it's supposed to be 24 hours, but the drive-thru is never open. But no, so I'm like, I see a gap, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I get a little bit closer, and it's just a dude walking his dog in the drive-thru. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he like stopped at the sign, like you know how the most of the time the speakers are on the curb. And so he's right there at the curb, and I see him point his finger out, and then just start walking forward. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Well, you think he was just walking his dog, and he'd be like, some food would be good." But he's like, "I can't take this dog inside, especially with COVID."
Well,
so he's like,
"Closed. The inside's probably closed."
Well, that too. So he's like, "What if I just? Why not?"
I mean, if I was a Taco Bell employee, I would take his fucking order, because I've seen videos of people trying to do that and they get shut down. I think it's because it's a hazard. Because imagine if you got hit.
I guess.
I saw a video of this semi, and luckily he had cameras to show his front view too, because the light turned green in the car in front of him that looked like a decent distance, like a 3-second distance rule or whatever they say the rule is. And then he starts going.
Wait, isn't it you're supposed to? Are you talking about stopping?
They're stopped, but
isn't it? You're supposed to have when you pull up and you're behind them, you're supposed to have the wheels of their car on your hood, like their back wheels on
Yeah,
your hood.
probably.
But that's for the truck. So you're talking about the guy in front?
Well, so it was like, let's just say, like, I think it was like a Jeep Cherokee or something. It was a Jeep Cherokee, a Gap, and then a semi. And the semi luckily had cameras on like the front because he looked at it and he was all ready to go, but he looked at the camera and there was a fucking Corvette that he would have just like crushed because the Corvette sits so low that he can't see it.
Damn.
And isn't it also like when you're behind a semi, you should be able to see their mirrors because if they don't, they can't see you.
Yeah, well, it's like also people try and cut them off and stuff, and people don't understand that they can't stop.
Yeah.
You gotta stay away from those
You've
guys and
seen
give
all
'em
those
some room.
videos of just like trucks, not trucks, but like cars being pushed by the semis,
Yeah.
and they don't even realize it half the time. How many times do you think I've been kind of morbid in these past few podcasts, but how many times do you think somebody's been like decapitated trying to go or like the right turn and then this semi? Because I remember my stepdad telling me about that one time.
Probably, I mean, people's been screwed up all kinds of different ways
Yeah.
from accidents, but I don't know, dude, the one thing is you see all these guys sleeping at the trucks, dude, that would freak me out,
Oh, the
man.
truck stop sleeping there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
whenever I pass by a park, you see
That's
it.
awesome. How many people do you think just run up and
Yeah.
like bang on the doors just for fun?
Well, I always go shh. It's the sleeping semis when they're parked on the side of
Let's go
the.
tip them.
Oh my god. I don't know, because I've been seeing, like, a lot of Instagram videos of, like, because a lot of people sleep in their cars too, so this dude shows how you can, like, secure your doors shut with the seat belts, and, like, they'll, like, put it outside the window and, like, loop it under, and then loop it through the other seatbelt, and so it's, like, locked in the middle, so you can't pull apart the doors, even if it is unlocked, you can't pull them apart, and it's like, I don't know if I like, at that point well, I also probably I just don't wanna live in my car.
Well, I'm sure they have, especially if you're a trucker, they not only do they're in the back there. So
Yeah.
not only do they have those locks on those doors, but they have security alarm. They probably have like external cameras that they're watching because they have a TV in there most likely, and they're laying. They could check. So they probably know what's going on and whatever weapons they have. So they're probably fine in there. But it's just the annoyingness of somebody doing something to your
Yeah, it's like
or just running up. But it's like I wouldn't want to cause anybody any psychological harm. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you for example, when you do something, you see these creepy videos of these people going to these houses and like ringing the doorbells and they're caught on dash cam. Even if it's a harmless thing for you, you got
yeah,
to realize that those people don't know that you were
they don't
pranking
know what
them.
you're thinking, yeah.
Yeah, so now they're like freaked out and you're leaving residual freak out. So it's not just a one night prank. Now
Well,
they're paranoid and every night they're checking all the windows for the rest of the time they live there. Like now you screw them up.
yeah. I feel like if it's something to do with their house, something like that, like a safe space for them, like something that they feel comfortable in, that's kinda fucked. Like, not unless like it's like you're
Well, that's why when
pranking your
people
mom or
people
something.
move when they get robbed
Yeah,
right
and
away.
because
They're like,
it's almost like PTSD just living there.
yeah, they're not gonna probably they just want your stuff, especially if they come in the daytime, they want your stuff. Even so, if it's a one-time thing, that means they've been watching you and watching your rhythms and watching what's going on. So
That is
knowing
freaky
that,
to
you're
think
like,
about.
okay,
Yeah, let's get
this
out of
place
here.
has been cased.
I was well up at my lake house. This is not really us getting robbed, but there was one time where I'm standing in the kitchen and we have like so one side of the street closer to the lake is where all the houses are, and the other side is just forest. And so we have a window in our kitchen facing the forest side, and we have a U driveway with a little like a little island of trees in the middle, and I'm just standing there looking outside, and all I see is just a bear like walk right in front of us. So it's like that's kinda creepy to think about, especially going out there at night, like, it's already creepy enough being in all that forest at night, and it's also what's really creepy? You're in the middle of the forest, no lights around you other than your flashlight, like, yeah, that's creepy, but at least it's not like it's blacked out, when you're close to a house looking into
Yeah,
the forest and it's all just blacked out,
yeah.
that's creepy.
That's what we were saying. It's mindset. What do you could be out there looking for ghosts and shit when you hear leaves rustling, but it's a freaking bear.
I did that last night, bro. I walked out so, like, you went to bed at, like, I don't know, when'd you go to bed? 1 so I walked out here at, like, 1:30, and I usually just the RGB lights are on, but they weren't on, and I, like, looked out there, and I got kinda freaked out. I just looked
Does
out
it put the
here.
fan out here?
Well, that too, because 'cause I'm walking by there, and I can just see the fan. I'm like, "Okay, I know that's the fan." I walk into the bathroom to, like, pee or whatever, and I go back, and then I'm like, "Damn, I'm kinda hungry," or whatever, or I was thirsty, and so I come back out here, and I looked around, and I just did a full lap. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do a full lap. Like, what am I like supposed to be scared of? And I got some water, but it's just like it
Well,
is
that's what you want to
creepy.
do because I'm always afraid that there's like some person that broke in and then I'm
Yeah,
going out there and they are hiding. So I see
yeah.
them crouching in the corner and I'm like, that's why. But that's what you walk
Ugh.
up to it. You turn shit on and you're like, all right, what's going on here? You can't just
It's like
like,
you say that about the ghost. It's like the
well, yeah,
that's the
because it's
fight or
like,
flight.
yeah, it's like when you lose a spider, you're like, I can't just let it go. I gotta find that thing now because it's now it's
Sometimes I
somewhere.
give up though. Sometimes I'm like,
Sometimes, yeah, but it's like now it's like lurking. You're like, oh no, you
if it's
want to know
if it's
what
a nasty
happened to
looking
it.
one, you know those house scaragudas, like the house centipedes.
Yeah, I've
Ugh.
seen them, but I've never like seen. I've seen them on videos, but never in person. The big ones.
Yeah, not like the
Oh, are you talking about like
millipedes.
monster bugs?
I think maybe let me
That's
look.
what. That's what. Well, that's what I call them. I don't know.
Monster
The
bugs.
one, the like the centipedes or whatever they are.
Yeah. Let's see.
Take those things out. Some of them are huge in my basement. Some of them run by. You're like, what the
Oh yeah,
hell is that?
yeah. They get to like 3 inches long, bro.
Is it monster bugs?
Let me see. Maybe. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, what's that called?
I call it their house centipedes or scaragudas.
Scaraguda.
That's what I call them. A Scutagera, I mean, not Scaraguda, that's Barracuda. Scutagera. Scutagera coleopatra. That's the whole name. Yellowish gray centipede with up to 15 pairs of legs. They're just creepy because they also see, I don't really care. Like, I'm not scared of the bug and what it's gonna do to me. I just hate the feeling of the crunch, bro. Like, I would rather whack one with like a shoe on the side of the wall than go up to it with napkins and smush it, you know?
I don't want the mess, so I'll smush it with it. I don't care about the crunch or anything. For
Ugh.
me, it's just unless it can hurt me or it has poison. That's the one thing with bugs. I think that's what the people like on the shows like Fear Factor realized when they were in the clutch moments. They were like, listen, it's just the sensation that's weird of it crawling on you. As long as it doesn't get into any holes like your nose or ear,
And they
if it
plug up your
stays,
ears, right?
yeah, if it stays where you could see it on your hand, people freak out when it like runs up their arm. But if you keep it in your hand, it's fine, and you cup your hand so it can't get out. And if it does, you smash it. It's like whatever. But the weird thing about those things is you can grab them and you grab and their body, they're so fragile that you try to grab it with a paper towel or something, it's running away from
And it
you.
slips out.
Yeah, no, like half of it comes off and the other half of the legs are moving in the tissue and the other half's on the ground. You're like, oh, this is weird.
Ugh. Well, there was one time where, so you know, at my mom's house, I stay in like, there's two different rooms on the upstairs. One of them was this guest room, and one of them was my room. And so I was just sometimes I would just go and lay in the guest room because it was cooler in there than my room with the computer on. And so I just go and lay in there, and I walk in there, and I take a Snapchat, and I see on the ceiling behind me one standing there, but it wasn't a ceiling, like it was a
One of those monster bugs,
it
the
was one of the
Scudagera.
one of the monster bugs, and but it was like because in that room there was like when you walked into the room there was a lower ceiling than the rest of the ceiling, so there was just a small little wall where am I making sense with that? There's like a small little lip where the Scooter was chilling between the two ceilings,
Yeah.
and in the corner, and so I try and get it with a shoe, but I can't get it in the corner, and so like I miss and it doesn't move. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, all right, well I have to go and get something and I run out and grab something, I come back and it's gone. I'm like, "Fuck that, dude." Because I mean, I think they are harmless. Let me see if they're poisonous. I
Just
guess I
scoop it up
just
and flush it down the toilet.
yeah, I think I when I do end up doing that, I just layer it, like, if I was using paper towels, I'd use, like, 5 different paper towels layered up, so when I squish it, it just feels like me squishing paper
Dude, in
towel.
our lives, I've said that before. How many insects have we just cold bloodedly murdered?
Exactly. How many mothers were waiting at home? With ants and stuff, it's super easy because 'cause I'll just go in and grab it and, like, flick it out. Well, not small ants, but, like, big ants by your front door and stuff, I'll do that. What about you know what's the worst? Moths. Trying
Well,
to
you just
g
clap them as they're flying by.
Yeah,
Moth hunt.
moth hunting. Nah, the gnats are terrible because you'll, like, clap, you'll look at your hands, you don't see any, like, of the remnants, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then you'll be like, "Alright, well, don't know where the fuck it is." But then it just flies by, like, 5 minutes later, and you're like, "God damn it." But you said you've never had a leech?
No.
I had a at my lake house, I'm just, fucking around in the water, and then I get out,
Splashing.
splashing, bro, trying to fuck some rocks up, and, I get out of the water and go up the stairs to my lake house, to the actual house part, And then I get in there and I like feel like my foot just feels a little uncomfortable. You know how like you have like sand in between your toes? And then I like go down and I like wiggle my toes and I see just gray in between my like the middle toe, like the big middle toe or whatever. And then the one over there. And I like I look apart.
Did you take it off with a knife or did you just pull it
I
off?
can't I can't remember how I think I just got a pair of tweezers and like grabbed the like right at the very tip of the suckers.
How bad were the cuts?
No, it wasn't
It
bad.
just latched on?
It just latched on. It was probably on there for only like 5 minutes or
Fucking
something.
disgusting
And I was
creatures.
moving a lot. Sea creatures are something else. Fuck the horseflies and deer fly. They don't have them down here. They're up more in North Woods, but uh horseflies are fucking terrible, bro. The horsefly and deer fly are different. I think a deer fly might be bigger. I think they suck the blood out of deer, bro. So they bite you.
You ever see a
Hurts.
mosquito turn red when it's biting you?
Yeah.
You ever watch one?
Yeah.
When you
and then
flick it
fucking
off?
smash it after it
Yeah.
gets a full belly, and you're like, "Fuck you."
You scratch your mosquito bites?
I smack them, or I put the X through them, which actually doesn't work. Or
It's like that-
Bactine or whatever you spray it on.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it? I think it was bite off or after bite is what it was called. It was called after bite.
Afterbite,
And it's this like stick. It looks like a Tide stick or like a pen for,
a glue stick.
yeah, kind of. You dab it on your hand and you rub it around. It's like alcohol. It comes out.
A deer fly can have a lifespan of 1 year. A fly, think about that. Don't most flies have like 7-day lifespans?
I don't know. What are you supposed to do with that time, man? That's crazy.
They just go around sucking blood of deer, bro. Yeah, 28 days is for a male, just housefly. Flies are so gross, bro. Dude, I think an ant. No way. This is saying a black garden ant. 15 years. I guess so. They're just working away. You know like the big ass mosquitoes. You know what they're called? I think they're mosquito hunters. Is what they. Have you ever seen that video of the bird getting mad at the plastic lid? It tries closing it. Or like it like knocks it up and it falls back on him. He does it one more time, falls back, and does it one more time, and he like fucking like starts screaming at it. This little just bird, this little like cockatoo or whatever. And he finally like jumps on top and closes it. He got mad at like, you know when you get mad at packaging? That's what it did.
Word is birds are jerks. I saw one
are.
incite violence between two cats one time and
Yeah.
then sit back and watch. It was pretty
Yeah,
intense.
I was watching, or I like saw a theory in like like Instagram reel or whatever, where you know when you want to just throw rocks, it's just like you see them, you like rock and you want to throw it,
Yeah, if there's water nearby.
even just into a field. So with yours, it's near the water. What happens if like the rocks are talking to you, just like vibrations?
Can you swim? And then throw
Swim?
it.
All right, just yeah. Do you think you should do that with snails? If you find a snail, you should throw it back in the ocean, shouldn't you?
I was about to ask you, like people do that with turtles, right? They
Yeah,
like and they
dumb
drown. Like,
asses, bro. They do it with tortoises. It's really easy to tell the difference. Tortoises are like fucking super like domed. That sounds stupid.
I was just thinking about telling the difference between like an alligator and a crocodile and how am I gonna get close enough? And then I was thinking about that meme where it's like how to tell the difference between a poisonous and non-poisonous snake. And it was like the butt plate or something. It's like the last thing I do when I see a snake.
Yeah, no, I'm good. We gotta go herping.
I just hit my ow. All right. I just out of it now. Peace.
Deuces.